Today is Tuesday, August 6th, 2024, day 6 of LiveHard Phase 2. We're almost a week down, and today was another win. In addition to the 5 critical tasks for Phase 2, also got all 5 of my power list critical tasks done. You don't have to get the power list stuff done to have a win for the Phase 2, but I mean, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So, why slack off in any area? That's kind of a personal goal for myself. In addition to the Phase 2 stuff, I want to be doing my power list to get that going. Everything on there contributes toward my success in my current ventures, future ventures, things like that. So yeah, let's go through the checklist that was provided by the 12th C conditioning. Today's day 6. I started out at 227.5 pounds, so up a half a pound. That's not odd for me. Took my progress picture first thing. I finished my first quart of water at 10:48 in the AM. At 9:10 I rucked just with my 29-pound pack. I did not get up at 5:15, by the way. I did get up a little bit earlier than I did the day before. I think I got up at 6:30 this morning. I don't know. It was about a half hour or so earlier than what I did the day before. So I'm going to keep trying to push that wake up time down. That's actually my improve item, just so I have more time in the day to do stuff. But man, I was really paying for it a few days ago when I went to bed late twice in a row and kept getting up earlier. Really pushed myself to the point of sickness on Sunday with the second workout. So yeah, that really threw me for a loop. But yeah, trying to get better at that. Anyway, second quart of water I finished at 12:37 today with my food. 3 cups of coffee, 2 meat sticks. I had about 4 hot dogs, 1 serving of nuts, and then with dinner tonight, my grams of carbs are going to come out to 29 grams. I finished my third quart of water at 3, I think that's 3:05. It's kind of interfered with something I wrote in the line above it, but I believe 3:05 p.m. At 4 o'clock, I went outside workout, more interval training, running, arms, and push-ups. And today I did 110 push-ups. So I'm kind of alternating the chest and the core stuff when I do my interval training. I'm still running, trying to get better at that. Still working on the arms and shoulders and stuff, doing different things. But each time I do push-ups, and each time I do sit-ups and planks and such, I'm trying to steadily increase the number and the time and the amount that I'm doing so that it gets progressively more difficult throughout Phase 2. I want to keep pushing myself, and I gotta say, it is tough. It is really hot out there. Today has probably been the hottest day so far. Not sure what the temperature was, but I know it was in the 90s. With the heat index and everything, it was well over 100. So with 2 outside workouts, plus I was doing work on the property here for about 2.5 hours out in the heat, relocating items from a weight room. All right, so very heavy plates of stuff, 85-pound dumbbells, 75-pound dumbbells, just, yeah, a lot of stuff to move. And I think I went through like 4 t-shirts today, just sweating through everything. But speaking of sweat, that means I need more water in. I finished up my 4th quart of water right at the end of my workout at 4:44. So water's done, food is good, progress picture. And the workout's done. Reading, that is the final thing. Chapter 12 of Why the Rich Are Getting Richer. That's pages 199 to 212. So we got like, what is that, 13 pages? 14 pages. The chapter is called Do You Have a Plan B? All right. So here's some things that I highlighted and wrote down. Education is making life more and more expensive for taxpayers, parents, and students, like the traditional education, specifically college, grad school, everything else, with the federally subsidized subsidized, I think I said that wrong, subsidized loans for education. Ironically, money, the very subject not taught in schools, is costing us all a lot more money. Our greatest expense is a world run by highly educated but financially illiterate leaders. Anyone saving money or counting on the stock market or a traditional pension is walking on the edge of financial disaster. Real-world education requires 1. A willingness to learn, 2. Choosing your teachers wisely, and 3. Practice. 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 Practice is the environment where you make mistakes and correct them, and the more important the lesson, the more you should practice. So he's talking about financial education there. All right, so yeah, those are just some of the highlights of that chapter. Do you have a plan B? In other words, what you're told to do traditionally as far as finances, that's not going to last for long. So you better have a plan B for when all that stuff goes wrong. All right. Today I read Proverbs chapter 6, and so there were several topics that were in there. It was just warnings against debt, laziness, like surety for a friend, a guarantor. All right, by the way, this is kind of the stuff with debt that I'm struggling with. I know the Bible says the borrower is servant to the lender. Proverbs chapter 6 says, if you are surety for a friend or guarantor for a friend, go and seek mercy, and then don't be lazy, work your tail off like an animal trying to escape a hunter to get out from underneath that commitment that you've made. There is a Torah command, and this was pointed out to me by a friend. I assumed when the Torah command talks about lending on usury, that means charging interest. That's just a blank command. Don't charge interest. But it doesn't say that. It says don't charge interest to the poor. So there's a very specific clarifier there. Jesus even gave the parable, all right? Yeshua, Jesus, we're talking about the same person. He gave the parable of the talents that he gave to his workers, and he expected interest to be returned to him. So somehow stuff had to be lent out, assets had to be bought, something had to be done. In fact, the servant who didn't gain interest on his stuff was called a wicked servant. And so when I say that I'm struggling with the concept of debt, good debt versus bad debt, do I take the Dave Ramsey approach, or is like, no debt at all? But I don't know if that's 100% correct, biblically speaking, or if just the talents thing is a metaphor. The Torah command has that one clarifier, so if you just aren't supposed to lend on interest for the poor, does that mean you can do it amongst wealthy people who are all growing their businesses? Like, I'm not sure, all right? So if anyone has some insight on this, I could really use some help with that. But yeah, that was one of the things that came up in this chapter. So I'm trying to balance what the Bible says with information that I get from successful people, because it's not wrong to have a lot of money. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were all extraordinarily wealthy people, right? And God was able to use them in a mighty way. However, if riches and money and everything are your primary goal, well, that's obviously a bad thing. But some of what I read yesterday in Robert Kiyosaki's book, it's not being a slave of money, it's being the master of it. And he talks about once you get to a level, you need to return that, you need to give, you need to teach, you need to share the knowledge that you have. So it's not coming at it from a purely selfish standpoint. And so all that to say, I am trying to find out biblically what is the correct way to approach this stuff. I'm erring on the side of caution, and for sure want to eliminate my consumer debt. All right, and I don't want to, in addition to getting rid of what I have, I don't want to accumulate any more. I just don't know if it's wrong to take Robert Kiyosaki's advice and use debt to acquire assets to to where if that asset was sold, the debt could be discharged because there's more money coming in, like there's enough to cover it. That's what I'm struggling. Like, is that wrong? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, there's also warnings about mischief and people who just like to get into trouble and lure you along with stuff, and warnings about adultery. Some pretty hefty warnings there. All right, so for my after action report, sustain, improve, and change. Again, I'd like to sustain the workout intensity. I like the fact that they're getting progressively harder. I'm having to fight mental battles out there because the one voice comes in, it's like, oh, it's hot. And then the boss voice is like, hot, cold, doesn't matter. It's just a thing. It is what it is. You still got to get your stuff done. So that's the voice I'm listening to more. So I'm going through, I'm looking at my watch with the workout, and it's like, I think I can get one more set of stuff in. I think I can do one more, or I should be able to get 2 more in, you know? When the other voice is like, maybe you should settle with just 1. Maybe you could just walk this lap. I'm like, no, I want to keep working harder. I want to improve my wake-up time. And I couldn't really think of something in the change category. Like, I haven't been doing terrible things where it's like, oh, I must change this now. Like, I feel like improve and change could kind of be a similar type thing. I don't know. But the last 3 items that need checks, just a reminder, no alcohol for the diet, check. No cheating on diet, so far as I know, I haven't, check. And no excuses. I'm not settling for second best. No excuses, check. Today was a win. All right. So yeah, thank you for joining me for these daily check-ins. I hope you're liking the more in-depth format as I'm kind of going through my day and times I complete things, going over things that I'm reading every single day. Hopefully that's more enjoyable and entertaining for you. But ultimately the goal with this is just to be an encouragement to you, so you can see my journey going through this process. Hopefully you can see how I'm changing, all right? Not physically or whatever else. I feel like I'm losing weight. I feel like I'm getting stronger, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I just hope that change that hopefully you see in me is an encouragement to you, because you can do this. You can get your stuff done every single day. You will get your stuff done because you're a servant of the Most High God. And so you don't have a choice. You must. And the good news is, Yeshua empowers us through His Spirit to be more like Him. Because as I've said previously, Yeshua was a mentally strong person. He was a physically strong person. He was an emotionally strong person. And obviously a spiritually strong person. And if He's the one that we're supposed to be like, we're doing a disservice to our God to be anything less. So that's my encouragement to you. Christ-likeness is more than just spirituality, all right? You need to become a well-rounded person as He was. All right, enough talk. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I pray that you're blessed. Bye.